I hate to say this and use this race card thing. Do you know how many white coaches in America right now, and I can just tell you because I got off the phone with a few, that are scared of Deion Sanders succeeding? Because it is over. It is over. The white coaches right now are scared as hell that this guy succeeds right now at Colorado, by the way. You're going to say, whoa, this guy's got it figured out. We're screwed.
And this is what I'ma do till it's over, but it's far from over. Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, go ahead and hit that sub button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. And as you guys already know, Deion Sanders is the talk of the town after his upset win over TCU, his first Division I college win, doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
We got now. We ain't coming no more.
And the haters are out there. The haters are talking that talk, talking that sass, as they say. You got people going on television talking about they can't wait until Deion Sanders loses this Saturday to Nebraska.
I'll tell you right now, I will root like crazy for Nebraska on Saturday afternoon. Oh my God.
How are you Deion'd out when he backs it up though?
I will root like crazy for Nebraska this weekend, just to calm everybody down. How's that?
And making no bones about it, they have no good reason to want Deion to lose or to root against Deion. Or at least they have no valid reason that they want to share with the rest of us. But we all know what it is. Deion Sanders is that unapologetic black man. He's not speaking out on social issues. He's not a Jesse Jackson or anything like that, but he's just unapologetic in his approach. He's going to keep his head up. He's going to talk back to reporters like a Nick Saban would, like a Greg Popovich would.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. You believe that?
And of course, it's not everybody. Not everybody feels this way, but I would say there's a older segment, especially within media, that are just not used to that style, especially coming from a black man. And so it makes them uncomfortable. And so a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like to see a so-called black man like that win because it's uncomfortable. It's not what they're used to. And so they're out here openly rooting against Deion Sanders, hoping that he loses. And they can't wait till he loses so they can point the finger and say, I told you so. I told you he wasn't cut out to be a college head coach. This style isn't going to work, and this and that. And Jason Whitlock is somebody that is extremely talented at what he does and is extremely talented on how he caters to a certain audience. I'll say that. I would say his entire get down for almost his entire career has been taking whatever side the so-called black side is and being on the opposite end of that stick. Whatever social issues going on within media, Jason Whitlock, like a Candace Owens, like a Jesse Lee Peterson, somebody of that nature is going to take the opposite end. They're going to go against the grain. They're going to be contrarian just to cater to a certain audience. There's a whole niche within YouTube of black YouTubers, so-called black YouTubers, taking the opposite side. No matter what the facts are, no matter what the circumstances are, they're going to try to find a way to justify injustice.
It was a law and people just obeyed the law at the time. And when I was growing up, I had to pick cotton. The guys were taking out.
You were born on a plantation.
Have you ever picked cotton?
No, sir.
You have not lived until you pick cotton.
You're being too controversial for me. You're gonna get my show taken off the air. It's fun to pick cotton.
It's fun. It makes a man out of you.
Really?
Because most blacks are so lazy now.
Oh, Jesus.
Because of the government taking care of them.
And so Jason Whitlock is somebody who falls under this category. And I'm not saying they're always wrong or I always disagree with some of the takes that they have. But if your whole get down is supporting anything and everything anti-black, and you can't find any common ground with people who look like you, then I got a problem with that. I got a huge problem with that. I have no problem with independent thinkers because I'm an independent thinker. I have no problem with conservatives because I'm someone that leans more to the conservative side. Most black people do. And so I have no issue with that. Like I said, my issue is when your whole get down is being anti-black when you're a so-called black person. and not finding any common ground on any single issue, and you don't have a track record of it. That's my issue. And so Jason Whitlock is somebody that definitely falls along those lines. And so I'm going to go ahead and play a snippet of Jason Whitlock doing his usual stick, and then of course I'll chime in.
This could be a problem for big time blue bloods. I'm telling you right now. Now, to your point, the wonder thing could very well be. I don't want to hear Deion Sanders as an NFL coach. He is not a coach. He is a CEO of a brand. He is a brand ambassador that understands how to control it, manage it, and lead it.
And so I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Any self-respecting black man with an ounce of self-respect and dignity would have checked his ass right there. Excuse me? Deion Sanders is not a coach? He's talking about somebody that was an all-time great athlete, world-class athlete, that's been coaching at every level for several years now. Coached different youth levels. Coached his sons in middle school, coached his sons in high school, coached at a HBC for 2 years. And now he's not a coach? He's just a brand? You've reduced him to just a brand? Somebody that's managing different personalities and managing a business? So like I said, he should have been checked. But not Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock is somebody that is going to pile on and add fuel to the fire and make sure he brings on guests that feel exactly the same way that he does. And so like I said, this is somebody that should have been checked. And if any of you guys are familiar with Jason Whitlock, then you'll also know that he's a Christian. He's a firm believer in Christianity. I'm not sure if he's a follower of the scriptures, but I'll say that he's a firm believer in Christianity, or at least that's what he professes to be. And so I'll take him at his word on that. And so he has 2 different Christian guests on his show. And one of them is going to give his take on Deion Sanders, and then the other ones are going to go. I'm going to go ahead and let the video play, and then of course I'll chime in.
The way that I would look at it from a biblical perspective, the number one person that's responsible for making sure my kids are developed, my son is developed into a young man, my daughter is developed into a young woman, that's me and their mom. Like, that's our family. That's supposed to take place there. I send them there. My expectation for Deion is only going to be, or any college coach, is only going to be secondary to what my primary responsibility as the discipler of my family is supposed to be.
And so absolutely, I agree with this guest 100%. It's not the role and it's not the responsibility of a Deion Sanders, or any coach for that matter, to press upon his beliefs on your child, on your son. And even if Deion Sanders wanted to, we're not in the climate where that's even acceptable anymore. Church and state. And if it wasn't like that before, it's damn sure like that now. And so I definitely agree with this guy 100%. As a father, it's my responsibility to impress upon my son, or my daughter for that matter, their beliefs, their foundation. I don't want to send them off to a school and have another man's beliefs pressed upon them. That's the last thing I want. Any real father would know that, and any real father would feel this way, except for this dude right here. I'm going to go ahead and let him chime in.
He is a net negative for being a Christian role model for young men. He is a net negative as the fruit of prosperity gospel preaching and poor discipleship. He's the fruit of men like T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar and Mike Todd. It's one thing for him to promote himself. It's a whole nother thing for him to think that the way for young men to grow would be through the use of pride and self-promotion, that would be their way to greatness. I was listening to what Anthony said, that his primary job is to coach kids and then thereafter to build men and use college football to do it. I don't think those two things are dichotomous. I don't think you can do one and not the other. And as a believer, as one who professes Christ, I believe he has a higher call, a responsibility to ensure that the manner in which he uses football, first of all, glorifies God and honors him in every way. And then by example, he uses that platform to draw other men to Christ as well. And so again, you can build up young men and teach them the fundamentals of football to the highest level, which Deion has demonstrated he absolutely has the skill set and the ability to navigate. He can do both. And while for someone who does not profess Christ, yes, their primary role is just to make sure they win football games. But as a Christian, as a believer who has been given the Great Commission, he has a responsibility to whom he will answer to Christ for how he leveraged his platform to draw others unto himself.
Even Jason Whitlock can't believe that. You can tell by the way he's looking. He's like, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? And so even Jason Whitlock is stunned on that one. Like I said earlier, it's not the responsibility of a Deion Sanders or any coach for that matter to impress upon his or her beliefs on your son or daughter when they go off to college. Deion doesn't owe it to anybody to impress upon his faith on anyone. I'm sure when they hired him on to Colorado, that wasn't in his job description. I'm pretty sure he promised to take that program to another level, which he's already on track at doing. I believe they've already sold out the majority of their tickets for the rest of the season. I believe it's going for about $500 a pop now. And so Deion Sanders is doing his job. He's doing what he signed up to do. He wasn't signed on to that school to be a minister or a pastor or in any capacity like that. He was signed on to be a football coach. And so it's individuals like this trying to set these impossible standards for a Deion Sanders to live up to. And it's a shame that it comes from your own sometimes, but unfortunately, that's how it goes. That's how it goes these days, unfortunately. It pays the bills, if y'all know what I mean. And so I think that's going to be a wrap on this particular video, but definitely chime in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel on this one. And as usual, peace and chaos.